Well, there's a tiny just sliver, like not even anything. It might just be.
We gotta realize too, you couldn't use rings in here.
Yeah, these are old rings, and it's the only good ring. What do you think?
You're good.
I think you'll be fine.
Okay. Well, then I guess we're done honing this one finally.
All right.
All right, that looks good.
Sweet.
And you checked all of the other ones?
Yeah, we're gonna redo this one a little bit because there's a little bit of glaze left, and just for the sake of uniformity, I guess.
All right, but make sure you measure. Remember the ring gap, top
Yeah.
and bottom, because any taper in it's just like.
It's just done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Careful honing.
Yeah.
Right? People say it can't be done. People are like, you can't do that. The pistons will just fall out.
Man, look at this though. This is like
No, it's
crosshatch.
you did an exceptional. I mean, it's beautiful.
I'm kind of proud.
Only
You
took
should be
several
proud.
hours.
You should be proud. You did a fantastic job.
This cylinder took 6 hours, but
Basically.
whatever. That's why the heads aren't done yet.
Right. You probably honed it like 3 over.
Yeah, that's
That's
fine.
fine. That's
That'd
fine.
be fine.
As long as the taper, that's the only important thing to keep track of is the taper.
We did check the ring gaps. It turned out okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent.
And tape. See, she's filming, so we're actually on right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi.
Taper is important because at low RPM, right, the rings will expand and contract to make up for, let's say, a difference in the bore from the top to the bottom. But as the piston speed picks up, the ring can't stick, it can't expand fast enough to keep up with all of that. So then the ring just starts riding over a film of oil and the power just plummets. You make no power with that cylinder. So that's why taper is such an important thing. But they're checking each cylinder as they go along, and they're honing carefully to make sure they're not taking too much from the top or too much from the bottom or anything like that. And
She's coming out all right.
you're checking everything, right? Just
Everything.
tell people you're checking and double checking everything.
We're checking and double checking everything.
Okay.
We're approaching this like the Mona Lisa.
There you go. And I'm telling you,
Quite
man,
literally, like.
Yeah, literally.
you did such a beautiful job. The crosshatch is just amazing.
First time I've done it.
I'm telling you, it's a gift, bro. You have a gift.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So show everybody what else is going on here with the car.
Well, since John has been helping me with this, we're still working on the heads, but we discovered these headers have got a lot of...
A bit of booger.
It's just not a proper shape at all.
Okay.
It is several shapes, especially right here
This
and here.
one right here is,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
it's all kind of... Like, those are the original manifolds that we took off of it. And then there's this. So
Yeah, these are no telling where they came from, except for a viewer.
that's a little crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's okay. It's just weld. It's a lot of excessive bad weld.
So we're gonna clean that up and get them to more like that, like on the manifold.
Yeah.
And you
Can't go too crazy though, because they're not welded on the backside.
by the fact that we primed something that's gonna get to like 500 degrees, you might think we had no idea what we were doing. And you'd probably be right.
Well, we should weld it. Here, flip it over. I mean, there's no reason why we can't weld them here and then just going for clearance or use an Allen head bolt. What we need to do with this is weld them around the outside because this is exceptionally bad, man. I mean, even by poor quality control standards, this is. Get a look at this. That's just crazy.
I think this one's the worst.
Yeah, that looks like
This
SpongeBob.
one is like, I don't know what to call this shape.
Look at the one at the end.
It's all just, it'll clean up.
All right, so
Yeah.
we got a lot of work to do
Just
on
work.
these headers.
Oh yeah.
But before you do any grinding, let's weld the outside of them.
So they don't break off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is all weld.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is all 100% weld on the inside. What a mess.
Yeah, when I took the gasket off and cleaned it up, I was like, oh, that's what's there.
Crazy.
But there's
All
more
in
that we
control.
know. Yeah. I mean, who knows how old these things are?
All right.
So
Those came mail order at some point.
they're gonna be nice when we clean them.
Is that the spirit of Garrett hanging around the car?
Yeah, it just kind of showed up and like we're just letting it stay. But we've got the radiator clearance here.
Look at this, we could talk to Garrett without even having a medium. Garrett,
I am here.
what you working on, man?
All right, so since I was gone, and now I'm back. Again.
Yeah, get a light.
I have cut this tunnel some more and actually bolted in our shifter to where it should work. It's all in there. I did take a little access out of there, but now this is exactly where it's supposed to sit.
They ran into a little bit of an issue with this. According to the listing of the ad that they bought this from, and the way it looked visually, it appeared that this was going to fit right in, and maybe a little trimming of the transmission crossmember would be necessary. But no, and not even close. The transmission crossmember had to be completely eliminated in this area so that the shift rods and everything can fit through. So we're going to have to come up with some sort of fabrication here. Now, if you're not familiar with these cars, the torsion bar crossmember runs across here. It's also known as the front bulkhead. So the torsion bar crossmember runs across here, comes over the hump, and ties the frame rails together and has the anchor points for the torsion bars, which are right about here. So this has to be supported all the way through. What we'll probably end up doing for the sake of expediency, and again, see, it's a race car. It's not like it's a restoration or anything like that. So for the sake of expediency, we'll probably make an external brace that'll come up and over this and tie the two halves of the torsion bar crossmember together. But now we're also tying it together in another way. Who pulled the frame connectors? You did?
Yep.
Come, let's talk about the frame connectors. So normally, unless it's an extreme situation, I don't recommend tying together the subframes on a Chrysler unibody. They're intended to flex. They're intended to move around. But when you cross the Rubicon, and now you're talking about, you're launching this thing, it's a stick car with slicks, and you're launching it on nitrous, well, now things are going to start to get really crazy with forces in the unibody. So they're ahead of the game in the fact that the car is a sedan, meaning that it has a post right here. And this post will go a long way towards keeping the car from twisting. But what you end up with now is that you have, remember, it's a unibody car. This is frame rail here, and this section right here of rocker is also frame rail. Now here, right here, is the front crossmember, the torsion bar crossmember. And right, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Right here is the rear crossmember, rear bulkhead. So what happens now is you're going to launch the car. 100% of those forces are pushing forward on this outer rocker. So what I recommended to them was that they use a set of frame connectors, not for twist, but to tie those two front together. And so when they drop the hammer and this thing bites and tries to drive the rear end into the front end, it has that little extra support that's beyond this. So Garrett went and pulled these out of, I have my 67 GT. A previous owner had stuck these things in there, and I've been driving around with them under the car, rattling around under the car. Because they were just bolted in there loose, yeah?
Yeah, they just came out.
Yeah, they were pretty
Right.
yeah.
I've been driving around like for 2 years with these things just rattling around underneath. So they pulled them out, and then these things are going to get welded into the unibody here. So it'll be tied together with their roll bar. It'll get tied together with these, and of course, like I said, it's a sedan, and that really makes the car rigid. You can't beat a sedan.
Right, that's true.
What have you been working on?
Me and you have been doing the same thing.
Continuing to hone until there's no more to hone.
Yeah. But that's
we're
almost the case.
Pretty there.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's going to be just continuing what I've been doing.
Yeah, important.
So, and then cleaning up those headers. Which,
And Garrett fit the Chevy Avco radiator
the massively oversized rad, yeah.
that we already have 2 cold case fans and a shroud for. So,
Nice.
so this fits in nice. It was never intended to be here.
I went on a chopping spree.
You have to cut the frame rails over here
Yeah.
Yep.
to get them
Got
in.
really close on that side.
Didn't have to on this side.
But that's up here. These frame rails are only here to support the bumper.
Right.
All of the important parts of the frame rail are from here back. This is the front K-frame mount. So cutting away the frame rail here is fine. You saved yourself a couple of pounds, really. And then that's unique.
Yeah, that. When did y'all do that?
just to keep it in there.
Yeah.
Until y'all got-
All right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I don't see any reason why that or a variation of that won't work.
Well, it's got to be raised up about an inch because you
Yeah.
got the K-frame here with the hose barb.
Okay.
So we're going to have to raise it up about an inch, like put a block under it and put in the actual brackets for it. But this works to hold it.
This,
So-
this is going to be tight, but you could see again, like this part of the K-frame, you could heat this and bash it, or you can cut it, you know, to make clearance for the hose. You won't have any problem.
But I'm glad that that actually fits.
Yeah. I mean, it all
Because
fits.
that's a big fat radiator.
It is. It's going to be a lot of cooling.
Yeah.
It looks-
Chevy guys will like it too.
Yeah, yeah, all makes, right?
You've been asking for Chevy stuff, right?
Guys, it's looking great. What is the next step? Where are we going?
Putting that thing together, painting it. We're getting more parts coming, and then once we get them in, we can paint it and start putting it together.
And then welding the floor
Yeah,
pan,
putting
floor
the floor back
pans
together.
and all that stuff back together on the inside, and making that external bar
Yeah,
for what I had to cut out.
that's important. Because
Bracing the cross member, bracing the floors.
Yeah.
the car is going to be supported every way you could support it except this way now, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. Have you decided what pistons you're going to use in that thing yet?
Yeah, Icon flat top forged, standard bore.
Good deal. And then we still have to go through the crank,
Yeah,
make sure the crank is copacetic, give it a polish. I think that's all we need is a polish, as long as it's straight, and we'll measure it, but I mean, there was no bearing damage coming out. So
No.
if there's no bearing damage coming out, there won't be any bearing damage going in.
no.
All right. So that's it then. You guys get back to work, and I'm gonna go do something. I'm gonna keep myself busy somewhere and out of your way.
All right.
All right. That's it. Okay. Junkyard Jet, moving forward, and Garrett.
I'm back.
See you tomorrow.